Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Sarah, and on today's episode of Let's Make Something Cute, we are going to crochet this adorable basic doll pattern. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and go over a few things. Everything you'll need to make this doll, the supply knit list and everything will be in the description box below. I will have a written pattern available soon for you guys that will be up in my Etsy shop probably sometime close to February, if not sooner. I will link that in the description box when it is available. And I tried to slow this video down, that way it can be a bit more beginner friendly. But if you are absolutely new to crocheting, I would definitely recommend some beginner tutorials that I will link in the description box below as well. But I do encourage you guys to take a leap of faith and to dive into this wonderful world of amigurumi and doll making, and I would love to help you along the way. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we are gonna start off with the video slowed down a bit. I'm gonna start with a magic circle. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my finger twice. You see the tail end hanging there. Then I have my working yarn hanging towards the left hand side. Then inserting my hook through that loop on my finger and then grabbing the working yarn and pulling that through. That's gonna create a circle. I'm going to yarn over and pull through a loop. Now we are going to work our first single crochet. And then you're going to work a total of 5 more single crochets into the magic circle. So that's a total of 6 single crochets into a magic circle. I just wanted to slow that part down for any of you who needed a bit more help working into a magic circle. I do have a more detailed video on my YouTube for that, but I just kind of wanted this video to be a little bit more slowed down in areas for those who are struggling. So now the magic happens. You're going to pull your tail end and it is going to tighten up for you right there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue on to round 2. We're working 1 single crochet, placing our stitch marker. And the pattern repeat is going to be 2 single crochets and then a single crochet increase into that 3rd stitch. So that's working 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. And then you will continue with 2 single crochets and a single crochet increase. That is going to leave you with a total of 8 stitches for round 2 of your arm. Before we move on to round 3, let's go ahead and tighten up this tail end. I'm going to go ahead and tie it off probably 2 to 3 times just to make sure that it's nice and secure. And then I am going to cut off any remaining yarn so then that way it is out of the way as we continue to work. So at this point I like to kind of cup the arm around my finger as I continue to work. So for round 3, we're going to work 2 single crochets. And then what we're going to do is work a decrease. I work my decrease stitches into the front loop only of the next 2 stitches. As you could see here, we're going to work into those 2 loops to form a decrease. So go ahead and insert your hook into the front loop of the next stitch. And then wrap and insert your hook into the following stitch, front loop only. We have 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is going to create our decrease. As that comes back up when we're working up the legs, I'll slow down again as well, just to have a helpful reminder. So continue finishing the pattern. We're going to finish off with a decrease here. This is going to leave us with a total of 6 stitches for round 3. Alright, so for the next few rounds, which is technically rounds 3 through 8, we are going to be working a single crochet into each stitch all the way around. This is just going to help make the length of the arm. So we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around, giving you a total of 6 stitches for each round. So at this point, I think you're safe to just continue working up the rounds, and I will as well, and I'll meet you back at the end of round 8. Alright, so now that we have finished round 8, we are going to close off the arm. At this point, you could definitely remove your stitch marker. We are not stuffing the arms at all. Just so you know, this is what it should look like. We have a total of 8 rounds ready to go. You're going to pinch the arm, close it, and you're going to work through both sides. So poking your hook through both sides of the arm, as you could see here, we are going to work a single crochet. And then we have 2 loops on our hook, pull through as per usual for a single crochet, and work 1 more single crochet as well. So I hope that visual helps. And that is how we closed our arm off. You're going to want to leave a long enough tail so that you could sew the arm onto the body. And then I just pull that through, and then you are going to want to make 1 more of these. Now that both of the arms are done, let's go ahead and wrap the tail yarn around and just put them off to the side so they're ready to go. Alright, now that our arms are done, let's move on to the legs. We are going to start with a magic circle, and we're going to work 6 single crochets into the magic circle. That is for round 1. Round 2, we are going to be working an increase round, working 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around. I went ahead and placed a stitch marker, and I'm working the 2nd single crochet into that first stitch. So now I have 2. Then I'm going to continue working 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around. That is going to leave us with a total of 12 single crochet stitches for round 2. At this point, I always like to tighten up that tail end, and I'm going to tie it in a knot probably at least 2 to 3 times just to make sure that that gap is nice and closed. You could definitely weave in your ends. I just think that this is a bit quicker and easier. And then I always like to just snip it down so that it's a bit shorter and easier to manage. Alright, so let's move on to round 3. This round is going to be worked into the back loop only for each stitch. It's a simple round. We're only going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch, but into the back loop only. So you see there, normal stitches, you go through both of those loops, and in this round we will only be working into that back loop. So as you could see here, it just kind of creates this cute little ridge, just gives a bit of definition to the foot area. You could definitely skip it if you are more comfortable with that, but I just think it adds a bit more definition. Moving on to round 4, we're going to work 2 single crochets. So 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Go ahead and place your stitch marker. We are going to work 4 single crochet decreases. To work a decrease, I work into the front loop only of the next 2 stitches. Then you are going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through the 2 remaining loops on your hook. Now just continue working 3 more single crochet decreases. Again, working your decreases over 2 stitches. And then after you have completed all 4 of those, you will go ahead and single crochet until the last 2 stitches remaining. That will leave you with a total of 8 single crochets for round 4. Alright, so we are going to continue working. We're going to be working rounds 5 through 10. You're going to be working 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around, and you'll continue that all the way until you get to the end of round 10. So that's going to be a total of 6 rounds. So just keep working, and I will too, and I will meet you here at the end of round 10. So I have completed up to round 10, and we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 rounds. This is what your leg should look like. And then we're going to go ahead and get started and stuff the leg. We're not stuffing the leg all the way to the top. We're going to stuff the leg about halfway. So now that the leg is halfway stuffed, go ahead and grab your crochet hook. And what we're going to want to do, this isn't going to count as a round or anything, real quick, is we're going to single crochet 2 stitches. So 1 into the next 2 stitches. This could be 3 for you, but you basically just want to crochet 1 or 2 stitches, or 3 till you are able to get to the front and have the leg pinch close and have it look even. Alright, so we want the leg pinched closed so we could work single crochets all the way across. This is the same process we did on the arm. So with the leg pinched together closed, we are going to work 4 single crochets evenly to close the leg. Alright, so let's go ahead and cut off a tail end. We are going to use this to tie the 2 legs together. Now, both of the tail ends are towards the left hand side, and we want to bring one of them to the middle So we are going to take our tapestry needle and we are going to kind of stitch that or sew that over to the other side of the leg. That way we can use the tail ends and tie the legs together to secure them in place before we start stitching around to create the body. I know that was a mouthful, but as you can see here, I'm just simply bringing the tail end over to the other side. So now we are going to take our tail ends and we are going to tie a knot to join the legs together. So I simply just like to tie 2 knots just to bring the legs together and secure them in place. At this point, I go ahead and just kind of cut those tail ends down, kind of get them out of the way, so that these legs are basically just secured together. So both legs are facing forward. That's super important. And we are going to go ahead and start working in the rounds now. What we are going to be doing is working single crochets evenly all around both the front and the back side. So as you can see here, we are going to be working into the back loop in the back, and then that remaining loop, when you turn to the other side, you're going to work into the front loop. So we're going to be working 18 single crochets evenly around all of these loops right here. I just want you to be able to get a good visualization. Now we are going to grab one of those loops and attach our yarn to that front or the back loop on the back side of the legs. We're going to work our first official single crochet into the next leg, working in that back loop only, as you see here. To secure that tail end, I like to tie it to the other tail ends right there. So I'm just going to grab one of those and tie a secure little knot to hold that in place. Go ahead and grab your stitch marker and let's just put that right there on the first stitch. That was 1 single crochet. Now you're going to work a single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So as you'll see here on the bottom of the screen, it will read out the pattern for the whole round. Now turning around to the other side, we are going to work 2 single crochets into that stitch right there. So go ahead and work the 2 single crochets. And now that we're in the front, you'll see that we only have front loop only available. So work 1 single crochet into each stitch across both legs. The pattern calls for 6 single crochets over the next 6 stitches, which would be 3 on that front leg that you're working on now and 3 on the other leg that you're going to be working into. Now it could be 7 stitches. Basically what you want to do, depending on how you're working and where you're working your stitch into, you want 18 single crochets worked evenly all around the front and the back side of these legs. I'm trying not to be too wordy because I don't want to confuse you guys, but I also want to be able to explain it so that you guys understand. So I've worked a single crochet all the way across to the other side of the leg, and now that we're at the corner, we're going to work 2 single crochets into that corner stitch, which will bring us wrapping around to the other side of the leg, and we should have 4 stitches remaining. If your stitch count is different or you have more stitches in the front till you get to the corner, just make sure you have 18 single crochets evenly worked around both the front and the back side of both legs. At this point, I am finished with round 11, and I like to secure a knot in the tail ends and then trim them a bit shorter to get those out of the way as we continue working up the next rounds. Now that we are done with round 11, here is what your leg should be looking like. Rounds 12 through 14 are going to be 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. I went ahead and placed my stitch marker, and now you're just going to simply work 3 rounds of single crochets. So I'm going to keep working, I'll let you keep working, and I will meet you back at the end of round 14. So now we have completed round 14. We're moving on to round 15. We're working in the back loop only of every stitch. So 1 single crochet into the back loop only, all the way around. That's going to give you a total of 18 stitches. So you could even not work in the back loop and just continue working this round as normal, but if you plan to use this doll and do color change, this is a good area for the waist. Whether you're doing pants, overalls, or dresses, that extra loop helps with that. It helps with the color change. It helps add those parts to the doll. And so I always like to add this in my basic doll for that purpose. And so that is why we have this 1 round of back loop only. So just keep working until you get to the end of the round. Alright, so for rounds 16 and 17, again, just simply working 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. So continue working the next 2 rounds, and I will meet you back to continue on to round 18. So for round 18, we are going to be working a pattern repeat. It's a decrease round, so 4 single crochets and then a decrease. We're going to repeat that 3 times for a total of 15 single crochets for round 18. Round 19, work 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Alright, so before we move on to round 20, let's go ahead and stuff the body just a little bit. I wouldn't stuff all the way to the top. I would stuff maybe just a little over halfway, just to get a little bit of shape. Alright, so round 20, we're going to work 1 single crochet and then a single crochet decrease. That is going to be the pattern repeat all the way around, and that's going to give you a total of 10 stitches remaining for round 20. Okay, so we have made it to round 21. We are starting our head portion. This round you're going to work 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. That's called an increase. So the pattern is single crochet increase in each stitch around. That's going to leave you with a total of 20 single crochets for round 21. Round 22 is going to be another increase round. We're going to work 1 single crochet, then go ahead and place your stitch marker, and then in the next stitch you're going to work an increase. So the pattern repeat is single crochet, then single crochet increase. You're going to do that a total of 10 times. That is going to leave you with a total of 30 stitches for round 22. So it's basically just 1 single crochet and then a single crochet increase into the next stitch. Go ahead and continue working round 22 and I'll meet you back here at the end. So for the next 7 rounds, you're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. And I bet you guessed it, I'm going to let you go ahead and continue working the next 7 rounds. And of course, I'll meet you back at the end of round 28. Alright, so once you have completed up to round 28, you are going to go ahead and want to start stuffing. You're going to want to finish stuffing the body and then stuff into the neck to kind of make it a bit more secure. So that's what you're going to see me doing here. I like to use my scissors, but if you decide to do that, I would recommend being careful. Sometimes they could poke you, but use whatever works well for you to kind of get all that stuffing in there nice and secure. Just make sure that you don't overstuff, kind of just feel around to make sure that it's not getting too stuffed to where the stuffing starts to bulge through the stitches. And I like to turn the doll slightly as I work the stuffing in. So as I'm working, I'm kind of turning the doll so that it gets that stuffing in there evenly. Alright, so these last rounds might go a bit quicker. It's pretty straightforward. So for round 29, it will be 3 single crochets and then a single crochet decrease. You're going to repeat that all the way around, leaving you with a total of 24 single crochets. Round 30 is going to be a decrease, 2 single crochets, and then a single crochet decrease. Repeat that all the way around. You'll be left with 18 stitches for round 30. Now is a good time to start stuffing. Just make sure that you don't overstuff or stuff too much. And what I mean by that is you want to continue to be working a decrease round for the last 2 rounds. And so when you're stuffing, make sure that you don't stuff so much that it gets in the way of you finishing off those last 2 rounds. For round 31, you will be working 1 single crochet and then a single crochet decrease. You're going to repeat that all the way around, and that's going to leave you with a total of 12 stitches. Alright, so we've reached round 32. I would continue stuffing just a little bit more. That way you could fill out the head before you finish off this round. It's a bit easier than when we've decreased all the way down to 6 stitches. So just go ahead and finish stuffing. Sometimes it's crazy how much stuffing you put in there. You think you have enough and then you're like, I have to put a lot more. So yes, just go ahead and continue stuffing, and then we will continue on to our last round. I'm so excited. This is the last round of the body. It is going to be a decrease round. So we're working a single crochet decrease into each stitch all the way around, and that is going to leave you with a total of 6 stitches left. And so at this point you could go ahead and cut off just a long enough tail to weave in those ends and close in the gap. Go ahead and grab a tapestry needle, and we are going to weave this shut. I basically just like to take my tapestry needle and weave in through one loop of each stitch, and then I pull that tight and it's going to close on up for you. After that, I just weave in my tail ends. Alright, so grab your arms, they're ready to go now, and we are going to sew our arms on. So what I like to do is I like to take my tapestry needle, and then I am going to weave in through the side right here. It's just something I like to do to kind of secure that. Then I'm going to take the arm and line it up with the body, and I'm going to push my tapestry needle through to the other side so that I could grab the corner of the arm right here to secure that side down. And I'm going to push my needle back through, make sure it's not hooked onto my arm, and pull that tight. Then I'm going to bring the tapestry needle back through and pop it through the middle of the arm and push that through to secure the middle down. Then I go back to the corner on the other side, the back side of the arm, and I'm going to do the same thing. Grab a piece of the arm and then bring that through to the body to tighten that part down. And that is how I secure the arms. I'm going to go ahead and weave in or secure as needed if I feel like I need to, and then I just weave my tail end in. So I'm going to leave the video going. I'm not going to be talking, just so you could see me do the other arm as well. That way if you need a little bit of extra help, you can see it. All right, so we have our arm sewn on. If I have any puckers, I kind of tend to use my tapestry needle and push those to secure. And now you can see our body is finished. All right, so go ahead and get your tapestry needle and a scrap piece of black yarn. We are going to embroider some eyes. These are actually pretty simple. So go ahead and attach your yarn. What I like to do here is I like to count up 3 rounds, and then I'm going to line up with the leg. So making sure that I go up 3 rounds, line up with the leg, and then I am going to pull that through. I'm only going to go up 1 stitch, and then I'm going to push my needle through, skipping 4 stitches and inserting my hook into the 5th. And then I'm going to go down 1 stitch and pop my needle over to the other eye. So that is how I secure the eyes. And then what I like to do is put the doll upside down, and I'm going to wrap my yarn 2 to 3 times. I tend to go 2 times, and then when I go in on the 3rd, I'm going to push my tapestry needle over to the other eye to do the same thing. So at this point, I am going to use my tapestry needle and pop through to the other eye. And I'm going to go 1 stitch over and then bring that back to the eye. This is going to kind of create that eyelash effect. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that along the other part of the other eye as well. And then I kind of weave in both tail ends to secure them in place, and I'm going to snip them off. And we are all finished. I hope you enjoyed making something cute. I will in the future plan on trying to add clothes, whether it is worked up into the doll through color change or removable. As I can, I will definitely try to add those. I know I get quite a few requests. But sometimes it's just nice to get these basic dolls out. They seem to do really well. They're the ones that do the best on my channel, and so that's why I tried to add more of those. But as you could see here, this doll could sit down, which is so cute. But yeah, if you haven't already, if you could subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell, that way you can be notified anytime I come out with a new video. I am really working hard this year to try to get content out for you guys. My goal is 1 video a week and some reels, if not more. But of course life happens, but I am really trying to get more content out for you guys. And so again, thank you guys so much for watching. And I look forward to crocheting with you guys again next time, making something cute.